I got into DJing in '94. I started DJing. I used to play under the name of DJ Vengeance. That was my original name. I got into DJing because when I was at school I was buying a lot of jungle records and a lot of hardcore records, and I started, I had a vinyl collection. I just built up a vinyl collection. I remember, like, as a kid I used to go into record shops like Black Market Records, Bluebird Records, and I would turn around with like a £5 or a tenner every weekend and start buying tunes, you know. Eventually I built up a selection of records, so I started DJing. Come to '94, I became DJ Vengeance, and the first ever radio station I played on was a station called Storm FM, based in southeast London. So but I wasn't really good at mixing in those days. It was a question of just fading in tunes in and out, you know. It was like learning to mix back in the day, because it was all analog and vinyl. So learning to mix, there was like, I couldn't really afford a pair of Techniques because they were about £1,000 a pair, you know. Very expensive turntables. So I bought some belt-driven decks, which just had pitch on them, and I learned to mix with 2 belt-driven decks, you know, to like mixing tunes in and out, blending. And also there was another way you can mix. You can mix with like if you had a hi-fi system, you'd have a tape deck that had a record button on it, and you could sort of like, I used to sort of like play a record on vinyl on my hi-fi system, and then I'd have a cassette tape, and I used to sort of chop it in between, and that was sort of like learning how to sort of chop up like between music, you know. So the hi-fi system was the way. A turntable and a cassette tape, and then I was just chopping in between them, you know. That was the way. And then eventually I bought myself a pair of DLB3 Sound Labs, which were direct driven Sound Labs, and I learned to mix on them, beat mix on them and stuff. So eventually I saved up my money, and I bought myself a pair of the best decks in the 90s were the SL1200 Mark IIs, which were silver, and the SL1210 black Techniques, which were like black, you know. I saved up about £1,000 and bought myself 2 SL1200 Technique silver turntables with pitch control on them, direct driven decks. The household decks back in the day were the Techniques, you know. They were the industry standard decks. If any DJ in the 90s mixed on turntables, they would mix on Techniques. 1200s and 1210s were the turntables to mix on. So that's what I started doing. I started beat mixing and stuff, and sort of playing on pirate radios under the name of DJ Vengeance, you know, on Storm FM. So that was that. And then I met this guy. I went camping. I met this guy called Sam, MC Supplier, and I met DJ Sweet as well, Andrew. And Sam said he was an MC at Labyrinth back in the day. So I said, Sam, I want to. He goes, I work on a pirate radio station up in North London. Do you want to get involved in it? Do you want to come and do a set on there? And I sort of played hardcore and jungle on there. And eventually I met this guy called Tony Montana, and he gave me my own radio show on a Sunday morning, 9 to 11. And I was playing jungle on there. And then in that stage I sort of changed my name. Come to 1996, because I had Techniques SL1200s. Silver decks and a mixer, and I could mix on them properly like a proper DJ. I could sort of chop mix the record, cut the record in and out with a crossfader and mix the beat matching together. I decided to go under the name of DJ Talent, and I thought, a friend of mine called John said to me, oh, you should call yourself DJ Talent, you know. And then I thought, because my name's Anthony, I thought I'd spell it as Talent, T-A-L-A-N-T. But when I started playing in raves and in clubs, people weren't putting my name spelt like that. They were spelling it T-A-L-E-N-T. So that's how I came up with the name DJ Talent. DJ Talent was my name in 1996, and that's where I started DJing. So for people out there that say to me, oh, DJ Talent, did you make up your name for Britain's Got Talent? But for the show, that's fucking rubbish and absolute bollocks. I was DJ Talent back in the 90s, 96, you know? So DJ Talent was my big name from 1996, and I just built on that name and progressed with that name. Biggest pirate radio station I played on back in the day was a radio station called Radioactive 90.6 FM. I used to play hardcore and jungle on that station, and then come to 1997, it's sort of like the jungle scene dried up a bit. It started to go garage, you know. It was like 4 to the floor beats, 2-step beats, and people were sort of playing house and garage, and that sort of the jungle and drum and bass went a bit quiet, it went a bit dark and underground. So I switched to playing garage and stuff. When I first started playing garage, I wasn't really into it at first. I just switched because my mate Andrew DJ Sweet said, do you know what talent is? Where's the jungle scene and drum and bass scene going at the moment? For us guys anyway. For the big superstar names, they had a career in drum and bass and jungle because they were big names, but for me it's kind of difficult. So I started playing garage on a radio station called Chicago FM 90.6 FM. So I'd like to say hello to everyone on that station. There was involved a big hi to MC Supplier, Sam, a big hi to Andrew DJ Sweet, Montana, Mystic Matt, and DJ Touch, and a lot of people that were involved in the station back in the day, Chicago. And then I started getting the garage vibes. It was more, garage was kind of like a style of music that was more like, when you look at jungle and drum and bass, it's more like teenagers, youngsters. They want to wear hoodies and baseball caps and want to go out raving in their trainers. But garage was on a different level because it was more on a smart level. People would want to go out in suits and shirts and smartly dressed shoes and stuff. It was dressed to impress with garage music and house music. People like had more of a smart appearance about them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas jungle and drum and bass was more underground and urban, more casual. Do you know what I mean? The difference is. How did I find music? Well, I want to know, like, the music fucking industry is completely, absolutely fucked now. I'm really fucking angry with the way the industry's gone. Because back in the day, you could like make a tune, an original tune with an MC or a singer, yeah, and you'd go to a distributor and they'd put your record out, and if you sold over a certain amount of records, a major record company would pick up on it, you know, and then it will get signed to a major, and then it'll end up on top of the pops, like as I've seen through a couple of tracks that have gone underground, like being underground tunes, and the majors have cashed in on it and thought, this is a big fucking tune, let's cash in on it, and let's make some money out of this tune and make it commercial. So that's what happens. Underground tunes kind of get sold through distribution companies. If they do well and they're original, a major will pick up on it and put it out, and it's on top of the pops. Here you go. I got into making beats and making tunes and music through a guy called Blue Dread, Tony, and he basically, like DJ Luck back in the day, this was in 98, 99, he 97, like DJ Luck started making records. Tony Blue Dread made tunes, and I said to them, look guys, I want to start making music, how do I go about it? So they said to me, you need a sound engineer. They said to me, you can't make music without a sound engineer, so how are you going to put your tracks together and your samples and beats together, playing your chords and melodies? So I met, Blue Dread gave me the number of this guy. He's a very good friend of mine now, one of my best mates, been for a lot with him. His name was JKL, John Clark Electrostat, you know, and Blue Dread took me up with the studio. Back in the day, it was sort of like, it was good because I was spending money on studio time. It was quite cheap back in the day, it wasn't expensive. It was sort of like, you get an engineer for like 50 quid a day back in the day. It was the going rate, like, for an engineer for a day's work in the studio, you know. So back in 1998, I said to my mate Andrew DJ Sweet, I want to start making music. So I got in the studio with my friend Andrew DJ Sweet. I've got a lot of respect for the guy, he's influenced me a lot over the years. And he said, oh well, first of all we need to get some drum beats together, we need to get a drum loop going, we need to get some samples, we need to get some vocals, acapellas and stuff, you know. So I hooked up with Andrew, and we went around this woman's house called Funky V's house, Fiona, who was a woman DJ. She had loads of acapellas. So I got a metal tape, which was a high quality cassette tape, and I recorded loads of acapellas on there. I went into the studio with Andrew, and we kind of he came in with his beats and stuff, with some records with some drum loops on, and Andrew did like the I Can't Believe Fall to the Floor version, you know. So Andrew was an inspiration to me making tunes, and he helped me out a lot, and I do respect him to this day, man. Like, thanks for your help, man. I know you influenced me a lot and stuff, and I liked Andrew's radio shows back on the day. He used to play on a station called Eruption FM, 101.3 FM, where he used to do the Sunday breakfast show. I like looking into his show and hearing his tunes he was playing. So I did a track with Andrew, and we did like one mix together, and then we sort of like, I had my own ideas and stuff. Like, he had his own ideas, what he wanted to do with the Fall to the Floor mix, and I thought I want to kind of do my own version of this track, you know. So I did like a breakbeat version of the I Can't Believe track, where I had like a breakbeat mix. I went in the studio and then recorded, did my own version of the track, which was an I Can't Believe breakbeat mix. And that was my first. I made the tune in 1998, I Can't Believe, and then in 1999 I did another track called Friends, which was a Lindy Layton Don't Be Good to Me bootleg. I just sampled the vocals and did like a two-step mix of it in a Fall to the Floor mix. So back in 1999 I ended up putting out 2 records, you know. I had like I Can't Believe, my version, which was like the breakbeat version, and then the Friends version, you know, the Lindy Layton version. So that's when I started getting into music in 1999. And what I realised about music production is if you're just a DJ and you don't make tunes, it's hard to get your name out there. If you start making music and you make tracks and you start producing beats, it's very good, because you can you get recognised by other DJs and other artists saying, well, fuck, this geezer's making fucking tunes, man. He's got a name for himself. He's a producer, you know. So I couldn't have been a superstar. I couldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for a couple of people like Andrew, like going in the studio with me and like doing his version with the I Can't Believe track, and influenced me, saying me, oh, this is how it works. So I respect you, Andrew, mate. I take my hat off to you, my man, and hope you're keeping well, bro. And I wouldn't have been like an established underground pirate radio DJ if it wasn't for the MC Supplier, because he got me on a station called Radioactive back in the day. Got me a primetime show and people looking into my show. And then the good thing about it is, doing pirate radio is you're meeting artists, you know, people that make tunes. So they'll say to you, here's an exclusive of my record, do you want to go down to Music House and cut a dub plate, or do you want to go cut the tune and have an exclusive? So I cut a lot of big records back in the day, a lot of big tunes, and I was getting exclusives because I was meeting the DJ. So I've just made a tune, talent, do you want to cut the dub plate? And I was like, yeah, I want that in my collection, you know. Acetate 10-inch presses, you know. I'm going to show you how, like, the process of music, you know. Here's like when you first make a record, like back in the day, the 90s, you'd have it on a DAT tape, which is a digital audio tape, and it would go on, and then you go to a cutting plant like Music House or a cutting house, and you put it onto acetate, which is this. This is like a dub plate 10-inch press. Like this is like before it goes on vinyl, you know. This is like your exclusive version to play out on the radio. So here's your dub plate 10-inch press, and as you can see, here's one of my tracks on there that I've done. And it smells, acetate dub plate 10-inch presses smell of metal. They're very got a really strong metal smell. I love the smell of acetate 10-inch presses. They're wicked, you know, and it's good having an exclusive tune that you've done, which is cool. And the other thing I liked about music is you can make your own exclusive versions of tracks by recording like a jingle on your track. So you'd have like your own VIP exclusive dub plate, you know, which is what this is. My vocal DJ talent on a 10-inch dub plate. And then, like, before you put the tune out, you go to a cutting plant and you put it on a test press. So you they'll give you, like, a pressing plant will say, right, okay, so we're going to do 300 records or 500 unit records of your track. But first of all, before we put it out, we're going to give you a test press. If you're happy with the test press, then we'll press it up. So a test press is like a white label. So as you can see here, this is like what a track I did, and here is the test press. This is the test press, you know, the white label before it goes out on the official release. So like, if I'm happy with the sound quality of this, I will then put it out onto I'll then press it up and get proper labels and sleeves done. So this is the white label. Test press here, and then you get the official mix. And then you get the official release version that you take into record shops and stuff. So you can do a sale and return, or go for a distributor, walk around with your tunes, and then you get your first official release, which is this one here, you know, which is this is the official release. Talent Recordings 001 DJ Talent. Can you see the artwork? Can you see the artwork and the labels, the way they've been done? The artwork's cool, and also you can see the black sleeve as well. So you can see it's like it's coming in a black sleeve as well, you know. But generally, like if you wanted to put it in a black sleeve, you pay extra for that, because obviously it's better quality. It makes the record look more sellable, more marketable, you know. But back in the day when I started making tunes, I was doing a lot of bootlegs. I just used a sample like singers and started bootlegging tracks, you know, which was a way of getting the track out there and sort of putting your name to it, but you kind of like changed the name of the title of the track, so you wouldn't call it the original title, you might use one word of it and then just do your own version with the acapella there. Everyone loved their bootlegs back in the 90s, you know. But how do I see where the music industry has gone now? Is the music industry is completely fucked. Back in the day, you know, like when it was vinyl in the 90s, it was more credible to be a DJ back in the day. It was a lot more work. It's like playing a musical instrument, you know, mixing on two techniques, turntables and a crossfader and a mixer was an art, you know. And now it's different. It's like if you want to go out and get a record, you can't go into a record shop now and say, I want that tune, I want that tune. And back in the day, like records would cost £5 a record. You can't do that anymore. It's all online now, it's all digital. So if you want to get a record now, you would you'd have to pay 79p for a download, or you download it off YouTube and well, with a pirate converter and rip it, you know. So that's the way it's gone, you know. From £5 a unit, and an artist making £2 to £3 per record sold, and now there's fuck all money in making music now. It's fucked. Now you just kind of like, oh well, someone buys a record at 79p a download. Fucking wow, that's a lot of like work that goes into making tunes, and for what, you know? I mean, it's good. Making tunes is creative. It's the creative side of it. It's fun. But to be rewarded as an artist, it's fucking hard work these days, because people aren't going into record shops anymore and buying your vinyl, and they're not like mixing on techniques anymore. You know, it's all digital now. CDJs and Serato, Tractor DJ, and memory sticks. That's the way the music's gone. It's fucked, and it's seriously fucked up, because now it's like. Now it's like you get people's music for free anymore. People don't buy music anymore. It's sort of like, so what's the state of the music industry? How do artists make their money these days? It's so fucked up. And now it's sort of like 79p a download, or a free rip off YouTube to get whatever track you want. Whereas before, people would actually go out and buy music from a shop, physically buy a track for £5 a unit. The artist would make £2 to £3. My music influences is a guy called Ben DJ Zinc. I liked his Super Sharp Shooter tune, which was a hip hop jungle tune. It had a really heavy bass line with hip hop vocals in it. Super Sharp Shooter Shots. I like that as a tune. That was a big influence for me on the jungle days. I used to like raving to that tune, and it was a big record, you know. Other influences is Ice Cream Records, a guy called Andy Lissandro, Kid Andy, and Tim and Omar, Tim Deluxe and Omar. They made a tune like when I started getting into garage, speed garage back in the late 90s. They made a tune called Rip Groove, RIP 99, which was a heavy bassline tune, speed garage tune that used to cane the dance floor. So two tracks that used to cane the dance floor in my life was DJ Zinc's Super Sharp Shooter, so wicked hip hop tune, and Tim Deluxe's and Andy from Ice Cream Records' record RIP 99, Rip Groove 99. Big up Tim Deluxe, big up Kid Andy, Andy Lissandro, Ice Cream Records, big up the Ice Cream Records crew. Good work guys, man, massive influence. Big up DJ Zinc.